Welcome everybody to round 7 of the ASR F1 League. This week we're racing at the Hungaroring in, of course, the W12 Mercedes, last year's Formula 1 car. 7 minutes into qualifying here due to some technical issues, but we are now live. Current qualifying leader, Benjamin Seiss, on a 1 minute 15 flat. We've got a couple guys behind him. Second place, Liam Kerr, about 7 tenths off the lead, and Victor Belair, 9 tenths off the lead. That's your current top three. Followed by Frankie Francica, Hans Schlogel, Oskari Immonen, Aidan Young, Hwangsto Avale, Marnix Heister, I think. Not quite sure how to pronounce that one. And then we've got a couple more guys yet to qualify as well. Another twist for today's session. I'm officially driving a safety car, but will be in broadcasting while we're doing that. Just for my fellow commentator here, Biggles, the overlay seemed to be slightly off centre.
Absolutely no idea what's doing that, so sorry.
All right, well, we're gonna try and get that one sorted while I carry on letting you know what's happening. Seeing some cars on screen on qualifying, quite a busier session than we've had the last couple of weeks. A couple more guys showing up after we've gone through a couple of quieter weeks due to several special events and 24s that have been on. People dedicating their practice time to that. Obviously, we had the Spa 24 last weekend, but as you might guess, F1 drivers and GT3 drivers generally don't have the biggest crossover. Very different cars to drive. So today's focus will be on the F1 series. Couple new guys in the session, so going to be great to see how they fare against our more experienced drivers. No one yet to beat Benjamin's time, still in the lead on a 15-0. He is currently on a lap, I believe, trying to improve that. See a couple of people making mistakes and pulling off the road, of course, as we usually do in qualifying. I think Benjamin might have just got an off track with that one there. He goes across the line, does not improve, so unless that was an out lap. Trying to just get my live timing up for you so I can have a look. Looks like he did go off, but I think it was an out lap. Oh no, but he's gone off again.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this. Sub doesn't like it. Doesn't like me. Oh, we might be stuck with this for the rest.
I think all of the overlays seem to have shifted to the left.
Yeah,
and
I know.
up, so
but it's all set to 1920 by 1080, so it should be good. But it's not.
So, trying to fix that one right now.
We need Gerald.
Yeah.
You can keep going with the whatever you can see, because I can't. The timing.
Yeah, I'll try. No one yet to improve. Liam's still running in second at the moment, but he is on a lap right now, coming through the final sector. You're not seeing the images of these drivers at the moment as we try and sort out some technical issues. You can see how many cars are in the pit lane, trying to find a gap to go out. People coming to the end of a pit lane, realizing they've not quite got that gap and resetting back. You're seeing Victor Belair on your screen now on an out lap behind another car. Not quite sure who that is in front. That distinctive black and green livery that Victor has been running since he started racing with us. A couple of these other cars starting to become recognisable to, I'm sure, myself and the other commentators as well. Liam crosses the line, and that was an out lap, so Liam's on a hot lap right now. Coming into turn one, he gets a little bit of a slide, but holds it nicely, doesn't quite use all the width, and a little bit of a wiggle, but I think these cars are designed to be driven with wiggle. A lot of downforce on these cars. Looks like we've got the overlay sorted now, so we can see everything. And I've now got the live image that I need to see as well to commentate you along. So we're watching Victor now coming into the final sector. Just switched to Hwangsto behind him. That's all good. Coming into the very tight, twisty bit towards the end of the lap. Going to be difficult to pull off a move here, but key to stay within the track limits. It looks like Hwangsto maybe went a little bit wide then. Not sure if that's going to be within track limits or not. We'll have to see. Wait till the end of the lap to see if it is. Coming into the last couple of corners now, two very wide open hairpins. This is a chance to overtake if you're brave in the race, but what can he do through these corners? He's got a green first sector and a yellow middle sector, so he could be on the cusp of an improvement here. Coming to the line, opens DRS on the run down to the line, and it is not quite sure. Don't think he's improved. Moves to P9. Victor here through one of the quickest corners on the lap here. Don't run wide here, very easy, keeps it within track limits. ASR, of course, had the GT3 race here a few weeks ago, and Victor loses it. Oh, yeah, so easily done. I'm sure anyone else that played the F1 games...
Frankie. Yeah, Benjamin
He's
as well
made it.
too. We might have to keep an eye on. But let's have a look at Frankie's been a little bit further up the road.
That nice bright pink car is going to be easy for us to identify during the race.
Yeah, I don't think I have trading paint on, but it should be okay, right, for the cars.
Well, there's no trading paints for these cars, of course.
It's only the
Mercedes,
safety car, but so I'll still have to turn it on so we get our safety car, of course. So if we have to use that anti-stall, is there a safety car driver today?
There is a safety car driver.
Okay,
it is myself, so making sure I'm listening out for that message from race
Yeah.
control. So you get some live commentary from the safety car. So what can Frankie do across the line? A 16.4 puts in P6. That was an improvement. Still 1.5 seconds off the lead, but I mean, realistically, it's much less than that when you see that Liam is 9/10 off Benjamin, who was putting in some good laps. I did see, watching practice earlier on, Benjamin did some mighty laps in practice on the soft tyre as well. Only driver to really focus on those soft tyre short runs from what I could see. A lot of the other guys going for the more long run practice. Tyre deg is going to be, a bigger issue than some other tracks here we'd expect. A lot of high grip acceleration zones. And really, like I said, that last sector, you can't really do much to protect your tyres through that. See Enzo coming out of the pit lane here. Need to try and find a nice gap. And Hans. There we go. Coming through the last couple of corners. Looks very neat and tidy. Obviously, a track like the Hungaroring, almost running your Monaco downforce package around here. So a lot of these guys will really have a lot of downforce, and it will be really nice to drive around here. That's an improvement though. 3 green sectors puts Hans up into third. Only 6 100ths off the back of Liam as well, who isn't improving on his lap. So if Hans can get another one in this short time.
Yeah, my Australian driver, come on. Pick it up, my friend. You need a win. You have been... has been very disappointed, I think, with himself lately, but he can get it done. He's improving, yeah, for sure.
He's been close on so many occasions, as I'm sure everyone that's been watching the league has seen. He comes within reach of that win, and then just one small little thing goes wrong, or unfortunately, as I think you said last week when I was listening along, that Australian internet isn't always your friend.
Yeah, no, it's not.
When you're trying to compete at the top.
Because of the latency. I think that's what's kind of like... Sorry, I apologise. I've got a little bit of food in my mouth because I haven't had a chance to eat yet. I just woke up. But anyway, you continue. We'll talk about it later.
Well, I mean, I think the issue for Liam is at least looking at that connection in the setting. He has a good quality connection, so he doesn't have any of the jumping around or disappearing and blinking that we often see from some drivers. But it's the net code, which already isn't great in these W12 cars, unfortunately. Essentially, because they're going so quick, the predictions have to be even quicker for trying to work out if there's going to be a collision or not. And when you have that slightly higher ping, it does mean that sometimes iRacing miscalculates perhaps where your car is going to be, which causes that incident sooner, which has been an issue for Liam a couple of times. But last week, I think we did see an actual disconnection issue, which caused him to unfortunately retire from the race. But I'm sure he'll want to come back fighting. P2 was in here as soon as the session went live today, and Liam was also in here very early, him and Benjamin. But Liam's off in the final corner. He was improving as well, 2 green sectors. So that's really going to hurt him. And he is going to get time for another lap, but the outlap will probably be less.
Yeah. Liam, that curse is on George.
Yeah.
Not me.
Finally on a good run. So I think we might need to find some new commentators. I think Biggles as well, if you would be able to turn off driver chat.
Yeah, I just realised that. But once again, this is the lovely thing about iRacing is it doesn't remember anything from previous.
It doesn't remember anything, does it?
It doesn't. You have to come in and does not like broadcasters at all.
Well, as considering my normal role around here these days is race director.
Yeah, which I've kept on. But
yeah,
I guess there's nobody
but
there for
whenever
that.
you get in and out of the safety car, it also resets you to driver channel when you get in the safety car. So I'm in the car sometimes trying to get myself back to the right channel, because obviously some of these drivers don't have the radio turned on, so they don't have to listen to other guys, but of course still have the scanner turned on for race control, so they can hear any crucial information
we could fix
they
that,
need to
George?
hear.
Because we were obviously, ASR was featured in the highlights for iRacing.
Yeah, the not top 10 highlights.
Not top 10 highlights, yes.
Yeah,
so
maybe
all
we
we
should
have to do is just we'll keep saying iRacing fix this, iRacing fix this, iRacing fix this, iRacing fix this. So
and then
when we get
eventually
in the highlights,
yeah,
it'll get the message across now.
Just have another very unfortunately timed commentator's curse, but slip the message in there somewhere in the middle.
See, I think there's a lot of people out there, including myself, which would be absolutely, like, honestly, we would love to help and, you know, provide information and as from broadcasters and casters and stuff like that to try to make it easier for everybody else to say, hey, you know, give them feedback, test stuff. If it works,
yeah, I've got to say,
you know, help them out with a lot of time that they probably don't have with the team, so they can focus on the game itself, the simulator, and let other people, other members of the community like ourselves, help them with the broadcasting kind of things. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, iRacing making a couple of statements the other day during the Peachtree Free, which ASR incidentally won in their split, but in the Peachtree Free, a couple of members of staff from iRacing saying that they are listening to the community more, bringing in some improvements, but they do seem to be more driver focused, so hoping that the next step is going to be towards broadcasting. Obviously, motorsport growing significantly.
They need kind of us. They need us as a community who do it all the time. They're our feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and I think broadcasting
just
probably
focus
is
100% really on the racing, and then you know, let us just. Obviously, they need a couple of team members. It's not a lot of programming, and shouldn't be very expensive for them. But they do.
I think that's the next thing they definitely
just need somebody that knows who uses it all the time, how to help them. That's all. Because maybe the staff don't have the time to sit there and go and do all the broadcasting and casting that we do.
And Liam improves there by 2 temps, bringing him closer to Benjamin, but still half a second off at this point.
How did he sneak that in without me even seeing him?
Yeah, not sure. I think he did a very fast outlap. We've got a couple more guys on laps. Yellow sectors so far, for including Stefan, the driver we're seeing now. Another nice distinct livery. White from the front, red from the side, like that. He's pushing through here, though. You can see... Oh, he's gone a little bit wide there. Not sure. Don't think he'll pick up the off-track there. Curbs generally tend to be the track limits around this track. He's really pushing here, though, and he does go green in the middle sector. Not sure if this is possibly an outlap. I think this is the hot lap, though. So, coming in now. Oh, nice and up against the curve, really pushing the limits there. Anybody that used to play the old F1 games will know those curves around here are very, very slippery. I'm sure Biggles has commented many a race where people have spun on them.
I still do. I like how you say the old F1 game, like
yeah,
because it's kind of like well, that's the situation now. Once people, it's qualifying over too. Once people start playing iRacing, they don't really go back to the F1 game very much, even though the new ones just come out.
Yeah, hoping. I know someone who picked up the new one recently, so hoping I might have a little run on that, especially on some of the new tracks I haven't had a chance to drive yet. iRacing also working on that, trying to bring more tracks from the Formula 1 calendar on soon. We've got the grid now, so Benjamin starting in P1. Liam was able to improve, but it didn't take him to pole, so he'll be starting P2. Hans P3, Victor starting P4. We've seen Victor get some amazing starts in the last couple of seasons, so maybe he'll be able to get himself forward on the start. Wanksto P5, Ascari P6, Paolo P7. Frankie only done a couple of races with us in P8, so that's a good start for him. Aiden, also fairly new to ASR, but has been doing a lot of racing in recent weeks, starting P9. Daniel, fairly new to the series, P10. Stefan, P11. Disappointing qualifying for him. He'll be looking to move forward. Marnix didn't have the best qualifying session, but also didn't jump in with much practice, so that session was maybe a little bit about the practice as well. He'll be starting P12. And we can see the leader now. We are not in Suzuka, Japan.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Where are we? I can't remember.
We're at the Hungaroring in Hungary.
Okay, I thought it looked like Hungary there for a second.
Yeah.
That's right. I can't spell it.
Hear a short message from the race director there, just telling these guys giving them some good luck messages and asking them to keep it safe. First lap here can always be a bit treacherous, especially heading down into turn 4, sort of a very tight zone that will quite easily squeeze drivers into a collision. We saw Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen collide here a few years ago when they were teammates. Obviously a very interesting start last year in the wet, and Formula 1 be going here in just this weekend, in fact. So not long before their summer break. No summer break for us, though. We'll carry on throughout Formula 1's break, so you can get all your entertainment here. Break. Yeah, almost all the cars on the grid. Enzo P14, Kevin Stam P13, but he will not be driving, so Enzo will miss a grid spot. Got the lights on, 3, 4, 5. All 5 lights are on. Cars are revved up and they're out, and the cars are away. Oh, a lot of wheel spin there for Benjamin. Liam's going to dive straight through. Benjamin down to P7 now nearly. That is an absolutely terrible start. Victor not getting the start he would have wanted, but he's trying to go fast forward into turn 1. Liam gets a slide on the exit, though. He keeps it still. Benjamin's right in the middle of the pack here. Really not used to this. Coming down to turn 3 now. Victor keeping his nose out of this one between Huangso and Ascari, who are going wheel to wheel, running a little bit wide. Benjamin trying to make his way back through, but he's got to be careful. These guys aren't his fight. He can pick them off later on, but he's lost a lot of ground to Liam. They're down to P8, and that's allowed Liam to pull already a second out front. Liam needs to manage that gap and make sure that he keeps that 1 second so none of the other guys can get to the ice. Victor's having a look down the inside, but it's not a too wide chicane. He makes it work, but it costs them time to the cars in front and ahead. Looks like Enzo has had a problem further back. He's lost a couple of positions through that section. Benjamin trying to make his way past Paolo now on the end of lap 1. Paolo going to defend, it looks like there. And he's even looking at the guys in front, but he can't make anything work. Too tight in that last sector. The overtaking zone is going to be turn 1, I think. Everyone looking for some clean air. Liam, your leader after 1 lap. Huangso in P2 with a very healthy gap to Victor at the moment, who has made his way past Ascari somewhere. Liam sets a pace of a 1:21.7 for the first lap.
Yeah, and look at this.
And we've got proper pack racing, yeah.
Absolutely. Great gap there
Victor
from Liam.
Oh, we see a big collision in the background. Big collision in the background. Couple of guys off. Everyone's kept it going, though, it looks like. So no safety car needed at the moment. We'll hear from race control if one is needed. That's damage for a couple of guys. That's given Victor a bit... given Victor a bit more breathing room. Just heard Aiden on the radio, not come through on the broadcast, of course, asking what that was. So I think race control will be having a look at that one.
Replay.
Might be hearing. Yeah, let's get a replay.
Oh right before that.
Too late there, yeah.
Let's go back.
Looks like it was before they even got to turn 1. That's a danger when you get all these guys racing so close, people not knowing the braking zones.
I think it was up the road. Yeah.
It's like, it's like Aiden broke a little bit early and Paolo a little bit too late, and that's not a combination you need. Lucky we didn't get any more cars involved in that, though. That was very close between those guys. All really, really lucky that no one else was caught up in that. We're on board with Ascari now, I believe. Not quite sure going off the car colour. No, it's not. In fact, it's hands. It's hands. Benjamin chasing him down. Can he do it? Benjamin much quicker than these guys. Can't afford to be caught up. Should be having DRS enabled this lap, I believe. This is lap 3 of the race. So yeah, DRS should be enabled. You won't get it on the main straight. Activation is before the start finish. You will, I believe, get the second, what would traditionally be the second bite of DRS down here, but no. Oh, in fact, they do. But Hans has DRS and Benjamin doesn't. Was Benjamin that far back at the DRS activation?
No, it could not have been.
That's ridiculous if he was. He's close. He's closed up insanely. Yeah, I mean, the detection is before the final corner, but he's looking for a move into turn 5. That would be risky. Thinks a better of it. He knows what he needs to do. He just needs to calmly make his way forward. Liam is pulling away, but right now the gap between those two looks like it's going to be around 8 seconds. So not too big for Benjamin to close if he can nail the strategy on this one. A couple of guys further back started on the medium, but don't think they've got away well either. Really surprised with Benjamin's start. Maybe we could get an onboard replay of that at some point, see what went wrong. Ascari doing quite a good job defending on Hansen. Got the gap he needs.
Only for $10 donations, I will do that.
Would be nice, some $10 donations.
To a charity, of course. Not to me. Myself as a charity. No, it's fine. Here we go. So we're on board with Ascari looking back there, but here is the other man under pressure, and he's got the DRS as well, so that's the thing. Oh,
Yeah,
Benjamin
he has. So
yeah.
he has that DRS to defend. Benjamin might even be looking for the double move somewhere. Benjamin keeps the DRS open a lot longer somehow. Must be braking a lot later. That shows the confidence he's got in this car. Runs a little bit wide though, has the wiggle, and doesn't open the DRS on the second straight again from the looks of it now.
All right, here's a replay from the start again real quick.
So we've got the replay. See Liam that we're focusing on now. Look at Benjamin on the right side of your screen. Look how much wheel spin he got. He was sideways. Everyone behind had to check up, almost like a stationary car. Gets a wiggle in the second phase as well. It's so bizarre because everyone will have had the same tyre temperature at the start. No warm-up lap, of course. So really, really bizarre. And you have to play it careful from there on out because he'll have overheated the tyres on the rear there. So that incident has been noted, I'm told, by race control. The collision we saw, no news on what the penalty is yet. Stewards will be looking into that.
So Paulo Lopez is just out. I think he's decided to. Is that too much damage? Just couldn't take part of the rest of it?
He was the guy who will have lost the front wing, so it's a bit bizarre for him to be out. Would have had a fast repair, but maybe just lost too much time getting back to the pit lane. Benjamin in early, very early. Did he get damage? I don't think so.
I don't know.
The car looks okay. The car looked okay.
Yeah.
Car looks fine.
I think he's just wanting to get, obviously it's mandatory pit stop, I think he just wants to get it over and done with and out of the way. So
yeah, early stop into P9.
But he's
5 laps into a 34-lap race. Frankie in as well. Frankie is in, yeah. He's on the softs as well, so I wonder if they are already feeling that wear. That big burnout at the start will not have helped the leader, well, the at the time leader, Benjamin Sizer's tyre. He is out of the pit lane now. He's going to have a nice big bit of clean air in front of him, so maybe that's the play from him. Use the clean air to move your way forward. In fact, it's not even that big. It's 4 seconds. So I forgot how short these pit stops are in Formula 1 these days, but that's an interesting strategy because he has got himself out of traffic, but he'll be back in it before you know it with the pace he's got. Maybe hoping that the difference between the old tyres or the old softs and the new mediums is going to be enough to get him through. Stefan here, trying to make a move for P5. Closest battle on track now. Everyone else a little bit out of DRS range. Liam's pulled 5 seconds at the front, so
yeah, that's
using that clean air to well effect.
I've got the pit stops up there as well, just so everybody to get indication who's making those pit stops and who hasn't. The top 8 haven't yet. And of course, I had to pull up the flags because I just, you know, I'm so proud to see an Australian flag up the top.
Interesting to see Daniel is also pitted as well and is ahead of Benjamin. That's interesting. I don't know if Daniel started from the pit lane and that's why that's come up. I don't believe he did though. So he's managed to get into the pit lane and out. Aiden into the pit lane as well now. Believe that is an actual pit lane rather than a retirement. It looks like it is because he is moving in the pit lane. Yeah. Coming in for his stop. He has damage from the collision as well. Probably didn't even realise he was running without the rear wing. So he's going to come in, use his fast repair, get the mechanics to fix that one and be out very nice and quickly, also going onto the mediums as we would expect. It's going to be a long stint on those tyres.
George, you'll have to do that. The air gun.
Yeah, that's my best.
Look at Adam Young.
That's my best attempt, yeah. Oh, here we go. Aiden out of the pit lane. Going to be fighting with Frankie on the exit, but Aiden gets DRS. Frankie will have the tyre temperature, though, over Aiden. He's going to go a little bit wide, but so does Frankie. Can you close up? Great place for an overtake if you can be close enough, but no DRS to assist you into the fast left-hander. And nothing Frankie can do there. That is going to cost him the position, I've got to say, unless there's a mistake from Aiden in front. Hands with a very quick lap that time around, 17.3, quicker than the leader, so he'll be looking to make some more time up soon. He's closing in on Victor slowly. Victor also not too far back from Huang So at front. Frankie trying to get back into the points now. I've got to say, that car does look good. Trying to get back into the points. Gonna have to do something special to try and get past Aiden now, I think. In fact, Frankie's on the hard tyre, so no surprise that he hasn't been able to match him there. I believe, at least visually, he appears to be on the hard tyre. I can say as well, I think Paolo retired from the race after he was, it looks like he was black flagged by the steward, so given a drive-through penalty. Unfortunately, it hasn't come through on stream, but just being able to see that in the game chat that he was black flagged, so that's why he retired from the race. Given a drive-through and felt that took him too far out of competition. That was a drive-through for running into the back of Aiden, of course. Clearly the stewards felt that the entirety of the blame was
what
to be
happened?
placed.
I missed it. Sorry.
So this was from Paolo running into the back of Aiden earlier on. Paolo was black flagged, given a drive-through penalty for that. So clearly the stewards felt all of the blame
Okay.
belonged to him.
I didn't see the message pop up on the screen, but I guess the race controls.
Yeah, no, it's. I think race controls a little bit overwhelmed at the moment.
Yeah, no worries.
So I've just seen that pop through in the race chat for the admins. So that it's showing up. He's got given a drive-through, so that's why he's retired from the race. It looks like. So only retirement, official retirement so far from this race. Obviously, a couple of non-starters. Liam just mentioning blue flags as well, actually. So he's stuck up behind someone, but Benjamin has closed down Daniel now. Only a tenth quicker on the last lap, but he has started to catch it back and does now activate DRS on this second straight. So, there's a little bit of a lock-up there.
Yeah, but you've got to avoid that chicane.
Jinx on that one,
the chicane of death.
It's,
I was about to say, it's a bit strange because it's just in the afternoon for me, and I'm like, it hasn't rained yet today? It's just bucketing down rain here right now, so you might hear that in the background, so apologies, but that's just Panama for you in the wet season.
It's all right. So what's Benjamin going to do here? Because he can't stick behind for too long, because every lap he does, he'll be thinking, well, I shouldn't have pitted, because this is just allowing Liam to extend his lead at the front, and the whole point of his strategy. And he is trying everything he can offline just to try and get something to work. He's even looking here, so he really does think he can get the move done. Just not quite sure where he can get the move done.
It's a very hard track to overtake. This one, we might have to. He's dropped back a lot. He's dropped right out of DRS now.
Well, that's a little bit of a mistake then in the chase.
On.
It looks like.
Yeah, that's weird. Just dropped out of DRS. He was right there for half a second. Ascari is also half a second, and Victor Bola now. Remember, Victor's won a couple of races under his belt now this season, and well, he's got one co up the road, and because otherwise he's going to let Liam get away with it. But remember, these drivers still haven't yet to box.
With these kind of mistakes that we saw from Benjamin at the start of that is bringing Victor slowly but surely into this championship fight as well. He's not as far out of it as we would have thought after the amazing start that people like Benjamin and Liam as well also had at the start of the season.
Benjamin's back at that again. How's he finding half a second? Like a second he almost found. Just like that.
It's ridiculous pace, yeah. So I can tell you right now, Victor actually currently P2 in the standings. Liam down in 6th place due to the sort of unfortunate retirements he's had.
I think it's good for Liam to be that far ahead. That way any of this netcode issue doesn't.
Yeah, he can have a little bit more time to get through back markers. It's not as urgent to put silly moves on them when it's not really on, especially a track round here.
I think he's going to make my my Christmas wishes come true if he wins this one, for sure. It'll be his first win for the season, wouldn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe he may have won a couple of rounds ago, looking at the standings, possibly in Suzuka, but not too sure about that one. Maybe due to... Oh, and he's going for a move, Benjamin, into turn 1. And he's got it done, as long as he doesn't run too deep. And he will have DRS to help him pull away as well.
Oh, that's
so he just get the move done.
That DRS is just... sometimes you kind of wonder, like, sometimes it's just in the wrong places, isn't it, when you get an overtake done. And then you got the DRS. That's adding injury to insult. It also happens in a Spielberg ring as well too.
Yeah, it does. There's a.
I'm more for push to passes.
I agree.
You could use it anywhere you want as well, and you only have so many to use, so you have to time up where you want to use them, and when and where.
Yeah, exactly. It adds more strategy to the game. Liam's just had a little bit of a lock-up in turn 1. Think he might be in at the end of this lap. Those tyres starting to look a little bit second-hand now. Not sure if we're able to get the lap count on screen or not. I'll leave
yes,
that to you.
Yes, yeah, it's the other way around. Whoops, my bad.
That's all good. So I can tell you now, Benjamin is on 112 points at the top of the table. Liam had a couple of non-scores in Fuji and Silverstone, unfortunately. Otherwise, he would have been right up there. He's currently on 84 points. So if Victor can score a few more points in this race, and Benjamin is going to be really on with a few races to go. Benjamin clearly has a lot of pace, but looks like the mistakes have just creeped in a few times. It's allowed Victor to fight and bring himself up to the front. Got to say, Victor is a driver I think everyone at ASR has loved to follow. He joined us very early on in the W12 series, and to see the pace and his driving improve massively over the last couple of seasons has been great. So I think he'll be hoping to try and get past Wangso as soon as possible. But was he even ahead of Wangso at one point? But he is now behind half a second.
Oh,
so
this is getting spicy now.
This is, yeah. He's going to go for a move. Oh, he had a look. Just trying to distract the driver in front right now. This is Ascari trying to get past Stefan. Oh, he's going to go around the outside, is he? No, they nearly had contact then.
Sorry, on my cameras, I need to rename them so I don't get...
It's all right.
Crazy
so getting good views of everything. Going to have DRS down the main straight here. You can see him gaining. Stay behind. Dive out now. And he's going to be clearing to turn 1. Just make sure you don't run deep. You got the track. Oh, he does have a little bit of a lockup, though.
Yes.
And the rotation is definitely on Stefan's side, and he's back through. So great defending there from Stefan to get back ahead of Ascari, but Ascari's not done. No, he is now. He needs to bring the tyres back into the window. Neither of these drivers to pit yet. And this is allowing Marnix, who also hasn't pitted.
He just read my mind right there. I was just about to say, he's loving this party up the road because he's almost in DRS.
Benjamin only 9 seconds off the back of these guys as well. So Liam will easily have the lead when he comes out of the pit lane. Benjamin, the first of the cars to have pitted. So Ascari, this is where he mounted his attack last lap. Can he do anything this time round through the quick right-hander here? Run out onto the curb. What's he going to do? He's not going to be close enough. He gets so close in his braking zone, but it's not enough. You cannot overtake there unless you're side by side. He's looking for some clean air. You can see... This right now, like he said, bringing Marnix right into the fight.
Box.
Oh, and he pits.
Yep.
Stefan boxes, yeah. Stefan into the box.
Stefan's like, nah, you're not overtaking me on track, my friend, only in the pit lane.
So, Stefan going to try and get an undercut here to keep the position. I think we've got to say, if they'd gone down that main straight, Ascari wouldn't have made the same mistake again. Victor, still within DRS of Wangso, been about 6 tenths back. He's a couple of tenths closer than he has been. Unfortunately, it's the wrong part of the track to be close by. What can he do? Use as much as a track here as he can. Ride the curbs so well, these old F1 cars.
Oh, they're not a year old.
But I think we've got to say the compliance in the new cars is certainly a very different look and feel to these new ones. Can't wait till we get the W13, I believe it will be, into iRace. W14 maybe?
Yeah,
this year's Mercedes, at least.
Are they confirming if they're going to do it?
Yeah, they have a deal with iRacing to do it. Not quite sure when we're going to get it. Probably not until next year, unfortunately.
Oh,
but
really?
I hope we get it as soon as possible. I want to see a comparison.
Let me call up Toto.
Yeah, hurry him up. We need it sooner rather than later, please. Victor has the DRS, but doesn't seem to have the drive out of the final corner to close up. It's the risk of running the higher downforce package around here as well. Marnix into the pits this time.
Yeah,
so he needs to see if he can come out ahead of Stefan with the overcut.
Well, Benjamin's going to get past him now. That's right. And where's Stefan? Stefan's here.
Stefan about 20. He's at pit lane entry now.
Yeah.
And he is currently stationary. Marnix currently stationary.
The BP9,
setting off now.
Oh, no,
it's going to be close.
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
It's going to be close. We'll see his car coming out of the pit lane any moment in the
top
right screen. There we are. It's going to be side by side into turn 1. Is it? No, Stefan has the overspeed. Marnix tries to fight it, but he can't leave the pit lane until he's past the exit line. So it was close. Marnix nearly got him with the overcut, but that does suggest to me that the undercut will work for Stefan on Hans. So we're going to need to see, well, if Hans comes in this lap to try and protect that. But right now he is slightly closing on the leaders as well, slowly. Well, I say the leaders, but Victor and Wangso slowly. I think Wangso's tyres seem to have fallen off at this point.
Not Liam. Hans goes in. Liam's a 9-second, almost 10-second gap. But Victor hasn't been able to do anything yet about this. He's been in DRS range for a long time now, but this is going to come down to a pit lane battle between these gladiators.
Yeah, I think so. So much to gain on the pit lane entry here, but also very, very tight pit lane. Easy calculation. Marnix going to go for the move. Oh no!
That's going to be contact.
That's never going to work.
Yep.
Oh! And he takes the position despite the bump, but he fights it back. So Stefan retakes the position.
Oscar's come in as well. So this is where these drivers are coming around. Oscar's exiting the pit lane, so this could get very, very close.
This could get close. He could end up in between the two of them. That would be a little bit awkward. Where is he? Is he even ahead?
No, he's just ahead up the road.
He's free turn one, yeah. But he's going to have cold tyres, and with these two fighting like this, it's just not going to be good. That could be a slowdown for the car that just went off. Both cars painted a bit too similar for me to tell who's who.
Stefan.
Oh, and a lock up there. Oh, no. They keep it clean.
They're both the McLaren liveries back in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, they do look good. Oh, yeah.
This is getting a little elbows out.
This is getting a little bit spicy right now. Victor, once again, behind on the main straight, but too far back to do anything. Just doesn't have the drive out the final corner. Benjamin up to P4 now, but the Liam will come out ahead. Depends how much Benjamin wants to take out of the tyres.
I just wonder if I just saw something in the background going really off track there, but I'm not sure. No, I think that's fine.
So, a couple of incidents have been looked at, just so everybody is aware. There is a 10-second post-race penalty for car number 98. Going to find out who 98 is. That is Frankie.
Oh, spin!
Oh! He's off.
That's Marnix. Yep. So
an incident between the 15 and 9 has been noted. So that was that collision we saw last lap going into the final corner. Not quite sure what happened there. Did he just lose it on throttle?
Yeah, he just lost it on throttle. It was on board, so I can show you the replay that in a second if you want, actually, because I don't think...
Yeah, let's have a replay. Looks like the others got through cleanly. Liam's in the pits, though. Liam's in the pits now. Let's see where Benjamin is on track. Benjamin currently P4, so he's quite far away now. He is going to close up, but he might need a safety car to be called out to win this one. Yeah,
you can see Benjamin there. But they're passing! But they're the two drivers that are yet to box, of course. But
yeah,
Benjamin's
of
way
course,
down the road.
But a safety car timed right for those guys could work out well. So quick with the stop. He goes to hards, does he?
I can't
be right. That must be visual.
Further
I'm
up,
going to check on my...
to this battle, because Victor's really putting pressure on now.
And check on my tracker. No, he has gone to mediums. The only driver on the hards is Frankie. Oh, big wiggle there. Was there contact? Doesn't look like there was contact.
It's close.
Victor needs to undercut this lap. Or overcut. Do whatever he doesn't do is what he needs to do. He can't afford to stay behind with the kind of pace that, unfortunately, Guangzhou has been showing. Because, like I said, Victor's in a title fight. He can't be stuck behind cars. Doesn't matter how much you're pulling away from the cars behind. If you can be quicker, you can't stay there. And that's definitely a decision that Victor's got to face. Now, the leader was in. So maybe you wait and see if you can get some luck with the pit stop. But right now, he's, like you said, Biggles, been stuck in DRS for many laps now, but unable to make the move. He did get close last lap, but let's see. Does he dive for pit lane? No, neither. They both dive for pit lane. Yeah. I think Victor thought Guangzhou wasn't going in. He dived in at the last second. Neither driver wants a speeding penalty. Victor closes up a lot under braking there.
So what is interesting now is to keep an eye on Benjamin trying to go and hunt down Liam. As they're going to go past.
Yeah, that's going to be the race there.
There's Liam, and Benjamin's here.
So Benjamin...
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep an eye on that. It should be about... I think it's about 8 seconds.
I think I can do the gap to the lead.
9 seconds. So Liam lost just a little bit of time to Benjamin, but not that much before he went in the pit lane. So he's got about a 9-second buffer. But we've got half a race, and you know that Benjamin's going to put his head down and put some flying laps in. We'll keep an eye on that. Everybody's now made a pit stop.
Yeah, right now Liam has a faster lap. In fact, the fastest overall of the race than Benjamin, but only by 3/10. Average pace, though, has been pretty similar from both drivers after the unfortunate start for Benjamin. So he's just got to try and make no more mistakes. He'll close up. It's the second place, it looks like, pretty solidly, unless these two guys behind can fight with the softer tyres. And is that Guangzhou on the softs? He is. Started on the mediums and gone to the softs now. So he's going to have some mega pace in this race to the end. He started so far back on the grid. There was only one driver that I saw starting on the mediums, and they did not start near the front. So he's done such a good job capitalising on Benjamin's mistake at the start, picking his way through the traffic on the opening laps. And that has allowed him to stay ahead of Victor. So that strategy really hasn't worked. Victor maybe should have gone one lap longer. He's got the mediums, though, that will last longer than the softs in this stint. so it could turn into his advantage towards the end of the race. Last lap round, Liam's still half a second quicker than Benjamin on those fresher tyres. Benjamin needs to try and do something a bit magical right now. Liam, no traffic for a while up the road for him, though. These three closest on track. I'm sure Victor will not want to let this battle go.
Yeah, you're right. Liam as well, too. Just within that 10-second bubble. So he's got a little bit to play with, as you said. Still putting in some nice competitive laps. His last lap was actually almost half a second quicker than Benjamin. So it's his race to win for sure. It's also his race to lose, but I'm not going to curse my fellow Australian.
Nice cushion, like you say, for Liam. Just needs a pretty solid race. He can afford... He is, like I said last time round, pulling the gap on the guys behind, which he doesn't need to do at this point. Maybe would be a little bit better off trying to protect the tyres in case of a safety car restart. 14 laps to go. I mean, I did say Guangzhou might have the advantage on the softs. You keep calling for the safety car,
don't you? You want to get out there and
I want to get in. I want to get in, shake up the race a little bit. Everyone's pitted now, you know, no major advantage for anybody, no major loss for any... Oh, and he goes round! On the soft compound tyres in turn 1. That's a costly error there.
That's George's
fault. That's costing the podium. It is. It is. I was talking about the advantage he had. It might fade away, but it was an advantage, and quite a big advantage at that. And he's thrown that away. 4 seconds now. He's going to have to use up that rubber to get back towards Victor, and it has cost him the podium position, you have to say right now. Unless there's a big cliff for those guys further forwards on the medium tyres. I think we're seeing qualifying compounds on the screen at the moment, unfortunately.
Oh, it doesn't show you the race compounds. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's all good. We know what tyres to say. We know what... So, yeah, Guangzhou did start on the mediums and switched to the softs in the race. So, great strategy call from him. If he can make them last, obviously that spin isn't going to help with the tyre life at all. So Daniel Scott, your biggest mover of the day, up 4 places. Stefan up 3, and the key one here, Liam up 1, and Benjamin down 1. He was down 7 at one point after he dropped to 8th place on the first lap, so he has fought back well, closing down the gap on Liam a little bit that time round, and pulling the gap behind, so doing what he needs to do. But that gap, what was it, half a second-ish he pulled that lap? Let me have a look. That lap, half a second he pulled, so he's going to need more of an advantage than that if he wants to get in this fight for the lead towards the end of the race.
He's got the DRS, is going to pull him into about half a second, make a challenge here. Going to be close. This inside lane tends to the outside, coming up to the right here, to your left. Oh, he's straight around the outside, just let him through.
Weeps around the outside. That's some serious grip from Ascari's tyres then. Daniel also, you wouldn't expect the tyres to be that worn. He was one of the first cars to pit, though. But that was pretty impressive. I'm watching you commentating now. It's like, yeah, you normally have the position if you're on the inside there. Inside is, it's so hard to get around the outside there. Because it puts you off.
There's one guy that had a crash here.
Is this a spin that we saw in turn 1, maybe, or has he gone around again? Let's see. This is Wang. I think this is going to be his spin into turn 1.
Yeah. Yeah, lock up and spin. And that's Victor going past.
He got so close to the back of Benjamin, and that just wiped the downforce off the front end, and I think caused the lock up on the rear. And let me tell you, once you lock the rear in a Formula 1 car, yeah, those tyres weren't going to last. Let's see if he's still on his starting compound, though, before the pit stop, that is. Hopefully I can find that information
on
for you.
the mediums right now.
No, he started on the softs. Oh, so
that's right.
That's a 2-stop race from Daniel there. So he did pit right at the start. Maybe he got damage on lap 1 and hit pretty early. So that's pretty unfortunate. Maybe he had damage going back to the softs. Yep. There is a chance at the fastest lap, which is a point if he finishes in the top 10. Looking at who's left in the race, he will finish in the top 10. So that would be a very good result for him if he can pull it off. About 12 laps to go in this race. Aiden, a couple of incidents earlier on, just trying to make his way back forward, score some solid points. P8 at the moment. He won't be happy with that, but he can try and make up a few more positions in this race. Going to be a big challenge to get any further than Ascari, but I think it's doable. Pushing on, see the commitment through these high-speed corners. Battery recharging there, so he is using quite a lot of energy.
Well, Wanko just got the fastest lap.
Lap. Yeah, wow, that's quick as well. That's quick. That's quicker than Liam's fastest lap at the start of the race.
Yeah.
So
Liam's still consecutively putting in good lap times there, but that's just up whether or not Wanko wants to get Victor. I guess he's
Benjamin right now not closing.
That spin that he had, and he wants to try to bring it back to that battle.
Absolutely. Benjamin not closing, like you're saying. I think Guangzhou urged on by his earlier spin, as you said. Just want a little bit of a lock up there from Aiden in his chase of Stefan, but I think, like you say, Guangzhou just urged on by that mistake early. He needs to prove that he has got what it takes to finish on the podium. Solid, very experienced driver, as many of these guys are now. 4.6k I rating, so nothing's gonna phase him really. Second highest in the event, so he'll probably be disappointed of anything worse than second position, I would say. But I think Victor Balea is going to be the next target for him. What a diverse grid we've got today as well. Every country on the screen. Of course, Kevin Stam from the Netherlands not actually racing, but Marnix was racing. Aiden seems a little bit like Victor earlier on in the race right now, actually. Stuck behind and unable to make the move.
Which country's not on the grid? Well, it depends.
There's a lot of countries. I can't think who's missing today that we normally have.
Unless...
Well, depends where Daniel's from. I don't know where Daniel's from.
Daniel, and obviously you're not racing.
Well, the UK is represented by the safety car.
Yeah. That doesn't count.
Too slow for an F1 car, it looks like. So, safety car is where we've ended up. Yeah, Victor. Aiden having a very similar issue to what Victor and a couple of others have experienced. He can get close, but not close enough. Seems to be a bit of a setup difference between some of these guys. Not sure. I think a couple of these guys, of course, use Mage as one of our partners. You can use the affiliate link in the description for their setup. But some guys clearly running a lot more downforce than others, with the straight line speed helping some people stay ahead, not helping with overall pace. But as we can see, if you've not got the straight line speed, you will end up stuck behind. Also important to note, Benjamin on 13 incident points, so not far away from a drive-through. And Liam on 11 in first place as well, so they've not got much to play with. A 4x, so a contact collision for Benjamin would mean a drive-through, which he can't afford, so probably happy to settle for P2. We see that gap to P1 continue to grow, so Liam absolutely dominating this race once he got off the line. We saw straight away that wheel spin for Victor, and it did cost him, and it's cost him big. It's going to cost him a lot of points today. From the qualifying pace we saw, we were definitely going to get, it's going to be a move, yeah. Almost too easy considering how much he struggled.
It is, isn't it? Just last late breaker's got the power down and had the exit out. So, yep, that's perhaps a position gained for the young man. But what's going to be interesting is how much Wanko's just caught up now with those blistering
half a second behind on the soft compound tyres. And we see 3 times quicker Sector 1 and another 3 times quicker in Sector 2. He's nearly made up, he's made up 6.5 tenths on this lap compared to Balea, and he's pulling away from Hans Schlogel behind as well.
Liam just sets the fastest lap of the race at the moment of a 17 flat almost. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody goes into 16s soon, but this is it. So we know that the Colombian driver was probably a little bit mad about himself having a spin, and he wants it back.
He's gonna go.
And
inside, outside, what will it be?
Not going to make it easy as well. Look at Victor gets an overspeed moment at it, so that should allow Wanko to get a good exit. And the inside line here, remember, stay off at those chicanes, the very high white chicanes on the inside, which you mentioned in the Formula 1 game. They're nasty. Doesn't get it done just there. Victor's really...
Victor managed to...
He's a good defender, Victor, of course. He never makes it easy for anybody to overtake.
Managing to get back round the outside after the move looked done in turn 1, and with the wiggle that he had on acceleration, is pretty impressive right now. You'd almost say that the defence is meaningless. Those soft tyres for Guangzhou are going to be incredibly good, but obviously every lap that Victor keeps him behind in, the tyres are going to go more towards Victor's favour, so he needs to keep him behind
and he's
for as
got
long as possible.
Flashing light too. It means he's using up all his ERS to defend now. We don't know how much one's got. And there's that chicane as well. Def.
Much quicker so far this lap because these guys are fighting, and I know there's only 7 laps left, but if he's gaining nearly a second this lap, probably by the end of the lap, then he could come into the fight, you've got to say. Victor, what's he going to do to defend? Stays to be inside.
Oh, there's contact.
Oh, there's contact in his round. Kept it going, though. Just a little bit of a drift. That will be looked at by the stewards.
Absolutely.
I can guarantee that one for you. In fact, not even coming up as a 4X in the race session. Maybe a replay of what happened there. Got to hope for Huangso it wasn't another brake lock. It did look like they were very close together. Maybe a potential netcode issue. Here they are through the final corner. You'll see the speed that Huangso gets with the DRS. Victor so early to come across and defend.
Yeah, here.
It's going to go to the outside. You can see the run down. Very nice camera angle here. Ooh. And there was no contact.
No, that's netcode.
Was there a netcode? Looks like there was a netcode.
Yeah.
Which is a bit strange. Both drivers have pretty solid connection, actually. So very strange to see the netcode like that. But I don't think Huangso will be spurred off. He's already back within DRS. Daniel trying to get a move done on Franchicha is my best guess. Don't know all of his drivers yet from a commentary standpoint, so let's go with that for now. But what's he going to do? Because he's closed up quite a lot last time round. They're both fighting for the last 2 points positions. Yeah. Huangso back within 6/10 up front. What's Daniel hit turn 1, and he's not going to be able to get it done this time. I think he'll be thinking he wants to force his way to be inside next time. Make Victor go the long way round in turn 1. That's what he did in one of their earlier on battles, and it did work mostly for him. So if you can keep Victor on the outside of you and then get back to the inside for turn 3, that's what you want to be doing. But it is difficult. Through this twisty section, it's going to be even harder with those soft tyres starting to overheat more and more and more as well. Still seems to have a tyre advantage. We see 3.5 tenths quicker nearly in Sector 1 that time round. But like I said, this is slowly bringing hands into play. Not much because he lost a little bit while these guys weren't fighting, but they are all actually running purple pace at the moment. Just dropping off as they go through this sector, obviously, because the tyres aren't quite what they used to be. Gap for the leaders, of course, stabilised around 10 seconds right now. Benjamin not able to do much, but looks like Victor is going to have to defend again this time around. The gap drops to just above 3 tenths. 4 tenths to go through the final corner, but what's he going to... Oh!
Good save.
Perfect onboard timing there. Saved it, has the DRS to bring him back into play, but the move will not be on into turn 1 this time. He's going to go deep, look for some clean air around the outside, try and get the DRS here, but it's not going to work. Straight onto the DRS button pretty quick there, but it's not going to work. He got 5 laps to make it work, but he will be thinking my tyre advantage is going to go. And Victor, like we said before, not an easy guy to pass. So Benjamin will extend his lead over Victor in the Drivers' Championship, it looks like, but Liam will be the biggest gainer, 25 points to add to his only 44 so far. So that will be a big game for Liam in moving his way up the table.
Yeah, we have no Vietnamese driver, unfortunately, today there, Greg. He's not with us.
Yeah. Missing a few guys, actually, but also a few new guys in. So if we can keep this kind of trend, it's going to be great.
It's the
if we can get some of the old guys
isn't
back
it, as
in.
well, too, in Europe. So I guess some people are actually taking a bit of a break while they can.
Yeah. A couple of drivers on their slightly shorter summer break. Hopefully they won't be gone for 4 weeks. No drop rounds, of course, in Championship. So anything you take off, you are missing. What's he going to do? Looks for the clean air on the inside, then he's going to run slightly wider, but so does Victor. Victor knows what he's doing here, taking away the air. But Victor goes right up to the wall. What's Huangso going to do? He's going to have to go to the outside again, but he's clear before they even get to turn 1. But he's going to go so deep, too deep on the brakes. Little bit of a lockup, but he's going to have the overspeed on the exit. Can he do anything down into turn 3? Goes to the outside line. He is going to try and keep it. But there's no point. No, don't. Do not damage the tyres now. This is not the place to get the move done. We saw what Fernando Alonso was able to do against Lewis Hamilton here last year. It's not the place to overtake as he goes wide. That's going to be another off-track. Oh, and he's off. Was there contact? And I've just noticed Benjamin In fact, no, ignore me. Benjamin onto 14 incident points. Huangso onto 14 after that. What happened there? Like I said, this isn't the place for the move, and he was still trying to make the move. We see here, this is the way he was trying to push up. He was trying anything to get past. A little bit impatient. Goes too wide, comes back across. Does he run into the back of him almost?
No, he broke
and
before.
Just has to avoid him.
Yeah, so he didn't collide. But it's cost his chance now of getting anywhere near the podium, at least.
Shot him down to P5 as well. Don't think he's going to be able to make 3 seconds on hands.
No.
Daniel Scott, I believe, has got past the driver he was behind, Franchicia, and he is closing in.
Stefan, sorry, yes. So the tyres are starting to get a little tricky for these gladiators. Starting a few mistakes creeping in. I'm not even going to go to Liam until he crosses the line because I don't want to jinx his race win here.
Well, I mean, we can see him gaining on these guys pretty rapidly, so you might not have much choice soon. But that was a little bit of a costly mistake there from Stefan because he probably would have had the DRS coming onto the main straight, and he didn't because of that. And we did say earlier in the race, these guys have come in so early for the pit stop. It didn't seem right. We were about 6 laps into a 35-lap race. It didn't seem right to be coming in off them. Liam, you can see him. We go on board, and he has the wiggle.
He's looking pretty happy in that helmet. I think he's got a smile.
He looks pretty happy, yeah. It looks like a big smile on the outside of the helmet as well, so... Let's, looks like pretty solid pace still from Liam. He ran a 17.2 last time, only 1/10 off his best, and still quicker than P2. So this gap still continues to grow. He's done an absolutely incredible job today. Had a couple of messy races where he's had the pace to win, but small mistakes, a couple of collisions have cost him big points all season round. A couple of disconnecting issues. In fact, at this very track itself, the Hungaroring, disconnected during the GT3 race when he was running. It was only his first race with us in the series driving as a driver, not as a safety car, and he ran a pretty solid race up into P6 until he had a disconnection issue. Looks like he's avoided that today. Connection's been much more solid. Stefan here, back within the DRS. What can he do with 3 laps to go? He needs to find a way past quickly, and he is. He's got to go. Oh, nearly ran into the back of Aiden. He went deep there on the brakes. Aiden had a lock-up. Stefan nearly ran into the back of him. That could have been a lot messier.
Yeah, Kishore out there says Victor's defense is nuts. It absolutely is.
That's pretty incredible. He's doing a great job right now. And he's managed to stay ahead. And Huangso, with that mistake, dropped back from him as well, who is closing in on hands. Not quite the rate he would have wanted, but he has chopped it down to 2 seconds.
Well, this is close. This could be the very final opportunity at the moment if Stefan wants to get anything done about Mr. Young up the road. Get it done on Mr. Young. I'm almost a poet. I didn't know it. Kind of rhymes.
Yeah. Stefan's so close. Stefan's so close here. Like I said, Liam is gaining on them. Doesn't look like he's going to catch traffic before the end of the race. He has started
down the main straight with the DRS here. This might be his last opportunity.
Very early defense from Aiden with the weaving. That'll be reported to the stewards, I think.
Oh, yes.
Couple more moves than necessary. Stefan going to make it round the outside. He's going to go for the inside now. Aiden's got to leave him room now. He's alongside, but then it's going to turn to the outside for the actual corner. But he's got the traction from the looks of it. He's going to go all the way around the outside. What a move from Stefan. Can he keep it through? No, because Aiden's going to get a run out of the corner there into the fast...
Oh, that's contact. That's double contact.
Oh, that's a big contact.
Yep.
That's a big crash. Aiden perhaps trying to keep it around the outside when he maybe shouldn't have done. Stewards will look at that. Stewards will look at the weaving as well.
Well, that should be left right now because we're on the final lap. I think they still might be at it, of course, the other gladiators.
Might still be at it after the collision. I'll try and keep you updated on that while we watch the leader completing his final lap. Stefan a little bit too far back to be making the move this time round. So let's watch Liam as he comes towards the final sector of the race. It has closed down on Stefan and Aiden significantly, but mainly due to that collision. Stefan currently losing out from that. Stewards will look at that. Stewards will also look at the weaving on the straight, I'm told.
I think they're going for a thing. We'll see if we can get it replayed that one in a second. But I don't want to miss
the
Liam. Powerhouse Thunder from down under. He only has a couple more corners to go. Just to the right. 2 to the right. And, well, there it is. You'd have to say Mark Webber would be happy. Daniel Ricciardo would be happy. You bloody beauty. You've done it. Liam, the Australian, wins the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Absolutely dominates the race as well. Benjamin with a poor start to get away. But you got to say Liam had the pace all day, even when they were both in clean air, pulling much quicker laps than Benjamin was able to. You could say it's a tyre difference, but you got to say Liam calm at the start, nailed the getaway, while Benjamin did anything but that. Benjamin really not wanting to lose the lead into turn 1. It cost him. Victor comes home for yet another podium. Only 4 tenths ahead of Hans at the time. Don't know if that was the weaving towards the line or if he caught him on track. Wangso will be disappointed with 5 at the end of the race, but looks like he's congratulating Liam on the radio, I'm told. Ascari will be next to the line. Looks pretty safe and set to finish in P6. Stefan Hoffman, P7, and Aidan Young will come home, it looks like, in P8. Stefan looks to have got back ahead somehow on the last lap after that earlier collision. We'll try and get a replay of that once we've seen all the drivers come across the line. Stefan crosses the line to take P6. Aidan P8. A couple of drivers racing with us for the first couple of times. Didn't all have the most successful race, but they've seen what it takes to race at the top level.
This battle
Stefan also complaining about the weaving on the straight. That was 1 move, that was 2. That was back across to try and block him in the braking zone a little bit too late. Then they're going to come through turn 1. He's going to try and cut back. This is Stefan now getting alongside here, and once he's alongside here, it's going to be difficult for either of them to take the ideal line here, but Aidan will have the grip in the second phase that you see there. Then that's going to let him through for here, but he runs just a little bit deep. Aidan able to cut back a little bit more. Then let's see how much he comes across, because there is a little bit of a contact there, but then there is also the second contact.
It continues.
First contact will definitely be looked at, and second contact will probably be looked at separately to that, because almost like 2 separate incidents. The second one really didn't need to happen. Trying to find out what happened further on in the lap for Stefan to get back by. I don't know if Aidan actually let him by or if there was a pass or even a mistake, because Aidan's just run deep there. Stefan looks like he really wants to get past it. What's he going to do? Maybe it's going to be on the run down into turn 1. We can see the DRS. There's 1 block again. There is another move there, but not sure if that one will need to be reported. There is a little bit of contact into turn 1 again. And that allowed Stefan to get a much, much better drive.
Yep. I think that's where he got it done. So these are results.
Looks like it.
Should be the results. Where are they? Hopefully they'll be up. Race results. Somewhere. There they are. Finally, if you'd like to go with that for us, please.
Yeah, there we go. Liam leading every lap of the race, I believe, apart from the one where he pitted and the guys behind hadn't. So absolutely dominant after qualifying P2 by only 4 tenths. He has managed to win after Benjamin got away with a poor start, but does still come home to finish P2, drop down to P8 at one point. So all things considered, he'll be happy with the recovery. Victor also going to be pretty happy with that one. P3, qualified P4, had a shot at a bit more, but a couple of moments could have cost him more than they did manage to fight back to P3 and had an absolutely thrilling battle that we saw on screen with Hank Hankstow and a couple of other drivers throughout the race. Hankstow finishing P5 just behind Hans. P4, Hankstow could have been a lot more today, could have been on the podium, had 2 major opportunities at it, but a couple of small mistakes cost him that. He'll be reflecting on that before next race. Could have been a lot more for him. Ascari, P6, pretty solid race, didn't see much from him, but that's always a good thing because it meant that he wasn't involved in many incidents, so he's able to do a great job today, come home in P6. Stefan, we saw fighting, it seemed, somebody every single lap of that race. P7, Aidan in a couple of incidents, but still had a pretty solid result considering. Comes home in P8. Daniel Scott, believe it's his first or second race with him, did a great job to finish P9, and we saw some great battling with him and Frankie. Then Marnix, Enzo, and Paolo all did not finish the race, unfortunately. And then you see Kevin Stam in there as the race director, accidentally loaded in the car, and myself as the safety car, which fortunately wasn't needed today, which is a little bit strange, Biggles, I got to say, considering how much action we saw.
Trent, you really wanted to jump into that safety car, didn't you? You were eager.
I did want to jump in. I did want to jump in, wanted to get some driving, but also it's great that we're able to have so much racing. There were a couple of incidents, but nothing big enough that needed the safety car, and I think that just shows how great and how professional most of these drivers are, able to come out here. Even on lap 1, after I saw that getaway from Benjamin, I thought, we're not getting through lap 1. We're not getting through lap 1. I was getting ready to move my iRacing window so that I could see it properly and drive, because I thought they're not getting through, and everyone managed to pick their way through it perfectly. So absolutely solid result for all of those drivers out there today. Great job from everybody. As the usual race director, I've got to say, proud of the progress we've made over the last couple of seasons. These cars can be a real handful to drive. So I'm going to bring a couple of drivers down into this room for an interview. We've got Benjamin and Liam first. So that was a great race from both of you guys. Going to get to Benjamin first. What happened at the start there?
Yeah, I just did not start.
Yeah,
It was
well, we're seeing it on screen now. So much wheel spin. It was a little bit surprising, but you managed to survive the first lap, which I think was probably key for the rest of the race.
I did survive the first lap, yes, but I was just stuck behind all these other drivers here. It is so difficult to overtake on this track. They call it similar to Monaco for a reason.
Yeah.
I was just held back by so many drivers, and I couldn't get back in front, so I pitted early, but then still I got stuck behind someone and also couldn't go forward, and then I got past him eventually, and then just drive all I could. But then I already was like 10 seconds behind Liam.
Yeah, that's what we said. We saw you coming into the pits and we thought it's a little bit early. He's probably trying to get out of traffic, and then you ended up right back in the traffic.
Yeah.
Which
Very
is unfortunate, but still able to fight through. Finish P2 is pretty good after P8 at the end of lap 1. So I'd be happy with that result.
I am, yeah. But
And
it could have been better.
yeah, it could have been better. Could have been better, of course. There's always one more position to go, but all things considered, we could have had a nice battle between you and Liam. I think probably let Liam off the hook a little bit, who is also here with us. Liam, pretty easy race for you. Don't even really know what to ask you because not much going on. We've seen the start again live on YouTube, but is there anything that you want to point out from your race? Because I can't really think of much that happened apart from absolutely solid pace all the way around.
Thank you. The race went pretty much like perfect, but to be honest, I reckon Benjamin could have got past me if he didn't have that start, because he did do like, I think it was 30 laps on the mediums and still kept up with me with brand new mediums, like relatively close. So it was a pretty strong drive from him. And qualifying was not good either. I couldn't get the setup to work, and then I magically got the setup to work with like 2 minutes to go in the session and couldn't get the time right. So
just watching the
pretty
start,
good
mate,
either.
and look at
Yeah.
that. You almost had a 2-second gap into the first corner. You could just barely see the battles that were occurring behind you, and at that point, that's it. No, you're
Yeah,
untouchable.
the smile on my face was massive.
8-9 seconds before your pit stop, and then you managed to come back out once again ahead of Benjamin with about 8 or 9 seconds. And Benjamin just didn't have the pace, I don't think, at all. Your lap times were in very good, about 3/10, I think, per lap on average. You were about doing, and then you put in a fastest lap, I believe, too, a little bit later into the race. Not mistaken.
Yeah, I had to push with that.
Yeah. Bloody Aussies. Bloody done it, mate. Good job.
Yeah, I'm
It's
really
about
happy
time.
with that.
It's about time, but you know, today the internet worked out for you brilliantly, where it didn't have to be any issues. We didn't. I tried to avoid going on board with you very often there, so I didn't want to commentate curse you because yeah, no point for that.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I had a lag spike in the second last corner, which absolutely I got so scared, but
Have a
thankfully
lag
it wasn't
spike
anything
right now,
bad.
actually, on the camera. There's it kicks away.
Yeah,
It's a
see
scenic
that.
camera, and then
You're pretty happy with that, I guess.
Oh, I'm very happy with that.
back
It's
back
definitely
on
my
the
best
air. I
race so
think.
far in this league.
Apologies, I think it got disconnected there for a second, so maybe back on the air again. Yes, we are.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm on a backup internet. So, sorry, I think we're okay. We didn't miss too much, I believe, out there in the YouTube world.
Yes, it just disconnected for about half a second. I
Okay,
think.
that's right.
Pretty
Excellent.
good,
All right.
yeah. Yeah, just one more for Benjamin. What was it like actually working through the traffic? Because obviously you're not racing with those guys most of the time. You generally tend to be leading out front or just battling with a couple of guys up front. So how does the mindset change when you're sort of in all that traffic where you're having to deal with things quite differently?
Well, I didn't really get through the traffic. I was just behind it all the time. It was
You're stuck
frustrating.
in it, yeah.
On track overtakes was one. All of the other people I just overtake through the pit stop. But I just did one on track overtake, and it's really hard to overtake here. You're just stuck behind the entire time. I tried to dive it into the um the I forgot what's called. One of the few corners, but it didn't work. Hannes is pretty quick, and then yeah, even if they're like a second or two slower, it's so hard.
Yeah, it did look like you need an absolutely massive delta to be able to get by. The only guys we saw getting by were doing it into turn one after about 10 laps of being within a couple
Yeah.
of tenths. So it was pretty difficult out there, but all things considered, I think both drivers that we were interviewing had an absolutely solid race.
I'd say for this track, qualifying is very important, but as you can see with my case, start is too.
The start is pretty important as well, yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, going to say thanks to all our viewers. Reminded that the F3 and F4 races will return tomorrow night, and of course GT3 on Friday. So hope everyone is able to join us for that one, and we'll see you all later. Thank you.